welcome back to Backyard Bass, and today we are going to do a little bit of a boat tour, kind of show you what my setup is on my boat. Just in case you're wondering, it's a 96 Champion. This is an S190 or a 191 series boat. It's a 19 footer. I do have a it's a 200 Mercury on the back. For anybody asks, yes, it'll touch right at 70 mile an hour, and that's about tops. And that's just with me in there in the right conditions, but nothing over that. And I can tell you, you don't want to do 70 miles an hour in this boat. As far as setup on my boat, I do run a 24 volt Minn Kota 70 Edge for my trolling motor. My electronics are going to be the Lowrance Elite TI, the Elite TI5 actually. I went with the smaller one just because you can Bluetooth it to like an iPad or a tablet of whatever your choice is. And I have a mount in there for the iPad, which the reason I did that was to get a bigger screen on your depth finder. You're talking an extra $600 to even more than that just to have that bigger screen. When the Elite TI come out, I bought that because it had the side imaging, the down imaging, and everything on there, the structure scan. So I didn't have to buy the big screen and spend the $1,200 or $1,400 for it. I went with the Elite TI5, which I think at the time when it first came out, I think I spent about $600 on it. It had a $100 mail-in rebate on it, so it was a pretty good deal. Then I Bluetoothed it to my iPad, so I still had the big screen right there in front of me, and I'll show you the mount that I use on that here in a minute. So I'm going to get up here. My lovely wife has actually got the camera, so we're going to go in the back, and we're going to show you what I have in the back. My first box here, this is just my trolling motor batteries. I do run, like I said, I got a 24 volt trolling motor battery, or trolling motor. So I run 2 batteries in there on a series. That's all that is, nothing much. My next box here, this is just kind of a dry box. There's not much in there, but it just kind of holds some different stuff here and there. It's not really made for much, maybe a little bit for like co-angler. I can also use it as a cooler if I want to. It does have a drain in it. That's all there is to that. There's not much there. 2 middle boxes. This is just my live well. It's actually, I think it's a 35-gallon live well. It's pretty decent size. Not huge by any means, but it gets the job done. This box over here, this is just kind of my dry storage box. And I just use it to hold like maybe a couple ropes. I use it to hold my oil in there when I need oil and stuff like that, and my fuel stabilizer. And guys, if you're not using some type of fuel stabilizer, you really need to invest in that, especially with all the ethanol going on in gas right now. All right, this one back here, this is just my oil container back here that I keep my oil in. The mixes for my motor back there, and then my starter battery is also back here. So that's about all it is back here. Other than in here, this is my fuel tank in there and my onboard charger, and that's about it. So not much back there. On to up here, the seats, all 3 of my seats actually have storage underneath of them. It's not a whole lot, just something for like a little cooler or something like that. Maybe you put a couple Ziploc bags with your sandwiches in or whatever. Doesn't hold ice very well, I can tell you that. In the center, this is just a little bit bigger cooler. It does have a drain plug in there and everything. If you want to put your ice in there, you got a way to drain it out and everything. That one doesn't work too bad, but just like any boat cooler, they don't hold ice very well. There's an identical one in my driver's seat that matches the passenger side, so I don't need to show you guys that. There's nothing in there. If you get back here, take the camera here, I'll show. Okay, so this right here, this is my Elite TI right here that I have that I'm telling you about. This is what I run. Now, if you look up here, I actually have, this is my iPad set up. I've got a RAM mount up here. You know, I just slide this over, put my iPad in there, and I've got my big screen right there. So I didn't have to spend the extra money for an iPad that I already had or a tablet or anything like that. I will tell you guys, you can find tablets on eBay or Amazon or something like that. You can buy tablets extremely cheap. So if you do happen to go with a cheaper depth finder for that reason, you don't have to spend a ton of money just to have that deal and get that set up. You know, this is stuff I already had, so that's what I used to my advantage. Everything back here is pretty well basic, just like you would have on any other boat. I do have a dual console. If I do ever get another boat, I probably won't get a dual console, just because I fished in plenty enough boats to know with that console gone, you have a ton more room up on that front deck, and I really, really like that. If you're somebody that does a lot of flipping, or if you're somebody that does a lot of crankbaiting with an 8-foot rod, that is nice having that extra room. So other than that, we'll get up here and I'll kind of show you guys. All right, guys, so that was my LED lights. They're just plain waterproof LED light strips. You can get them on Amazon or eBay or wherever. I think I spent like $18 for like a 16-foot strip, and just installed them myself. You know, made sure I had good wiring on them and everything like that. I mean, I've never had any issues out of them. They last long, and they're a nice little detail to your boat. So starting over here, we'll go in this side box first. This is actually my rod locker here. As you can tell, there's not a whole lot in there. I've got some of my rods out there on the patio right now. I was kind of using some of them and rigging some of them up. It's got plenty of storage in there. I can put an 8-foot rod in there, but it is extremely tight, and I don't like doing it because you're going to get your tips messed up doing that. So about a 7-11 is about all the bigger one I want to go with on that, and that's just max. So that's all that's in that rod locker there. I'll come over here to this other side. This right here, this is where I actually keep, I keep my net in here. Comes out pretty easy for tournaments and stuff. I've got my tournament weigh-in bag over there. This is just kind of essentials, guys, like your dude wipes, extra TP, suntan lotion, stuff like that. I always keep, boxed up in here. My soft plastics, I always keep. Old ice cream buckets work great for these guys. If you want to spend some money, you got some ice cream buckets, the square ones work perfect for putting those in. This box here, that was an order from Carl's that we haven't all went through yet, but we will do an unboxing on that later on. I also have my fire extinguisher in here and an extra shaft pin for my trolling motor in case I break one while I'm out on the water. And also, you can see up there I've got my life jackets in there. I keep up in there. It's a good little spot for them. So put that all back. So on to the middle box here. This is where I keep my tackle. As you can see, it's not real clean, but it works. The Champions were not known for having a whole lot of tackle storage in the middle, which was fine with me. Starting out, I didn't have a whole lot of tackle to begin with, so it worked out great. There is plenty of space on that other side, though, you can use too. My spinner baits, this little deal here, it did not come like this. What these were actually like a hard packing foam that come in some packages at work. They were already in these small strips. I just had to cut them down. I think they were like 5 or 6 foot long to begin with. But I cut them down to match this in here. And then I just stick my hooks in there and they hold pretty well. I just super glued it to the bottom of this. They work great. It's a real cheap, easy hack. So if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and copy it. You ain't gonna bother me none. Save yourself some money. So on to the front up here. This is just a little dry box here. I like to throw like my ropes in here that I'm gonna tie up the boat with and stuff like that. Or if I have extra line that I come off my reel or something like that, I'll throw that in there too, just to get it off the top of the deck and out of the water. I don't want to throw that in the water. People get hung up in there, and if you've ever had it in your trolling motor, it is a pain in the butt, let me tell you. So up here on the front, I do have a Humminbird. This was actually, I got it from a buddy of mine. I forgot, I think this is the 880 CI. I think it's 788 CI. It's nothing special, but it does have good sonar for the front, for the depth or for the trolling motor. So I do use that quite a bit. Like I said, I already told you, my guys. On here, I got the Minn Kota 70 Edge. So, and that's about it for the boat tour. There's not a whole lot to it. It's nothing special. It gets me by and lets me fish in tournaments and stuff like that. So it's great. If you guys want to see anything else, I do have a video coming up probably in late fall, which we're going to actually change out the lower unit fluid in there and get that all out, and I'll show you guys how to do it. It's really simple, very easy. So I'll show you that in an upcoming video. If you guys would, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that share button, that like button. Really like to get up to about 1,000 subs so I can start doing some live streams a little bit better and actually get my videos monetized. So if you guys could, please share everything you can, and I appreciate you, and I'll see you.